Wall Street Pete. Wall Street Pete, Sicto, and Crypto. Let's get it. It's time for the show. One, two. Meet me outside. Meet me outside. Bitcoin, crypto, don't go for a ride. If you're gonna get your surfboard, get it tied. Oh, oh, Wall Street Pete, Sicto, Crypto. Please don't flip, though. All right, guys. I'm not a financial advisor, but just a gentleman wearing a visor. We're up and running. Yeah. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, but more important, smash that like button, everyone, before we start the show. Come on, right over. Got one job, I got 1, 2, 3. I'll take 4 more just for me. I'm buying crypto, I'm dollar cost averaging, don't you know? You buy the dip, you have a sip, take a rip. Call me captain of this shit. I don't give a fuck, my name is Skip. XRP, Cardano, Ethereum. Good morning, Wall Street Pete, Sicto, and Crypto. How is everybody doing on this wonderful Sunday morning? Getting set for you for a live. Lots of things to talk about this morning, keeping you up to date in the crypto space. This gentleman, 1.68K subscribers. Who's going to get us to 2K? That's the question. I really want to know who's going to get us to 2K. How many people, who are going to be the new followers? Lots to talk about. I really want to get started immediately.
Not in their DNA.
We do have Vanguard. Right now, they're having a problem. It's so funny. I had a gentleman I was talking to years ago, and I said, you know, why don't you think about investing into Bitcoin? Do you ever think about putting a percentage of your portfolio or a percentage of your retirement plan in there? And I was just talking to someone, you know, close person of mine that held dearly to my heart and always treated them with respect. You know what they said to me? They said, I'm in Vanguard, Pete. I'm in Vanguard, and I trust them very much. I'm all set, and got very cocky with me. Then continued to become arrogant and become an asshole. It was weird how it turned out. We no longer speak. A very close person. I always treated them with respect, and I got disrespected and over and over. And I would love to tell you what happened, but it's pretty wild. So let's talk about Vanguard right now. They're not offering Bitcoin. Some people are getting upset about it. I don't think it's a big deal, but we're going to get right into it immediately. Vanguard holds firm refuses to offer Bitcoin ETFs. How this could be reflecting on you. Do you hold Vanguard? Up to you or not. We're going to talk a little bit about it. The S&P 500 is actually hitting all-time highs. We're pretty much tapping that right now. We could talk about that before we go. If you're interested, comment in the comment section. We are now live. Make sure you hit that like button. But the Vanguard group has recently faced backlash after deciding not to offer the Bitcoin exchange traded funds. And speaking of the traditional markets, I feel like we are way overbought here, ladies and gentlemen. And you could just talk about it real quickly just to get to the charts. ICP is up here. But let's get to the S&P real quick, and I want to show you what we're talking about here. This is very interesting, but all-time high is 4,800, and we are starting to break a little bit rather through there, so we'll see what happens. Each candle represents a day. Traditional markets are getting a little crazy now. We talked about this pump coming before we were even there, of course, all the way down to here at the 4,500. Now, obviously see where we are. But there's so much to talk about this morning, I can't even get into it all. But Vanguard spurns Bitcoin ETF trading, and they have a little meeting here talking about it, so just take a minute to listen to this. It's very interesting, I feel.
Repellent to them. They generally don't like commodities in general, right? Bogle was real into...
Hold up.
Refusal to allow Bitcoin ETFs to trade on his platform. Do you think it's temporary or permanent?
Look, I think down the road they're going to lighten up. I think for now this is just like just not in their DNA. It's almost like repellent to them. They generally don't like commodities in general, right? Bogle was real into stocks and bonds because that money works for you, right? It's about dividends and earnings growth or a coupon. A commodity is just what somebody else will pay for it. Now they do have GLD trade available, but that's a commodity that quote unquote has usage. So they just see this as a commodity and no usage. So it's like a double whammy for Vanguard. And you have to understand that Vanguard's like the family-friendly kind of brokerage platform. They don't allow VIX products or none of the fun stuff, no leverage products.
So they might not actually approve it. It's not a big deal. It might not even be a big story, but we're covering it for you because it's interesting. One quick funny meme, and then we're going to get into the seriousness. Three stages of Bitcoin. I felt every one of these. This was me at 20K Bitcoin. Bye-bye. I'm all alone. Then finally, I find that one friend who just, all they do is talk about Bitcoin, and it's like, it's so satisfying, right? Bitcoin gets to 40K, you know? It's wild. And now, finally, Bitcoin will get to 100K.
We're dead in the tights. We roll.
So we do our own advertising. Bitcoin halving countdown is the most important thing. Supply and demand. We talked about that as well. That's the only thing that's going to drive the price. So with Vanguard not being a huge news, it's very important to understand what's going on, though, for the good parts. BlackRock's XRP ETF stance is no immediate plans in sight. So if anybody was wondering about that, that is something that is not really going to happen. Calm your horses on the XRP, but we just got to the Bitcoin ETF. Relax. BlackRock spots Bitcoin ETF becomes first in class to reach 1 billion, and then we come and find out that, well, Fidelity was number 2. So just letting you know that the money is pouring in. It's very exciting. Very exciting to see it actually happening. And in the crypto space, Elon Musk's influence on Dogecoin and X payments have continued to grow. We'll see what happens. The MACD Golden Cross has finally occurred now when a short-term moving average, MA moving average, crossed above a major long-term moving average. So what's going on here is someone is saying that there is a big chance for Bitcoin, Dogecoin, to get a nice pump here. We'll see what happens. I have not looked at Dogecoin in a while, but this would look amazing. This is kind of like your ABC-like correction. You can see how it got support here, built long, boring sideways action is always a great thing. But that's for another day. Talking about U.S. suffers, right? Wrath of new COVID variant. What? 75% increasing deaths. It's like, do they have to put any more scary shit or possible scary shit to make you fear? So the fear is out there. Things may get just a little bit of repetitive of 2020. So if you remember, this is kind of some of the steps we were taking. I'm just bringing it up to you to show you, not to scare you, of course. And then some other breaking news. SEC freezes assets of church for selling unregistered God-backed crypto token. Oh, Lord, and no pun intended there. But gentleman has been telling people, right? The couple, reportedly, the husband and wife of the church, raised around $3.2 million through sales of the token, which they issued through their online church. Pretty sick. Eli Regaldo and his wife are facing legal action after the index coin. There's no way to get out of it, but you can buy, but you can't get out of it. And here he is actually speaking himself. You want to hear about it? I thought it was interesting.
And I are being
This is Eli.
charged in a civil charge from the Colorado Securities and Exchange Commission for basically selling millions of dollars worth of cryptocurrency that is deemed worthless by the state. Now, the reason that they're saying that it's worthless is because there is no exit for people who have bought. So everyone that's watching this, who has put money
By the
into
way,
this,
it's a beautiful background,
who
huh? With
wanted
the water.
to take money
wow,
out,
beautiful. I wonder how
we've
you
been
afforded
unable
that.
to do that. We launched an exchange. The exchange technology failed. Things went downhill. And from that point forward, we've just been waiting on the Lord literally for a miracle. So the charges are that Caitlin and I pocketed $1.3 million. And I just want to come out and say that those charges are true. So there's been $1.3 million that's been taken out of, I think it was a total of $3.4 million. But out of that 1.3, $500,000 went to the IRS, and a few $100,000 went to a home remodel that the Lord told us to do.
Lord told him to do it. I'm sorry, I had a big chuckle. It's not funny to laugh at things like that. If maybe he really did get a sign. Maybe he did. I'm not laughing at that part. I'm just laughing at, it's like I rob a bank and the Lord told me to do it. Do I get a pass? I just want to know. Does that work? Does that work? Yeah, I ran that child over because the Lord told me. He wanted me to do it. Oh, okay, you're fine. You're fine, sir. No problem. Just show us the proof and the paperwork in the mail, and you guys will be on your way. Like, seriously, stop. S&P starting to break above all-time highs. We'll see what happens. Seems like we're a little bit... I have a buying signal here on my volatility oscillator. That's pretty insane right now for the daily. Showing that on the S&P, obviously way, way overbought here, though, in the more short-term time frame. So we'll see here. Probably get ahead there eventually. But that is interesting in the S&P. Looking fantastic. Just traditional markets couldn't have been any better, huh? Couldn't be any better. What's going on? I feel like that's just money injected into the traditional markets. It's my personal opinion, of course. But what I do think here is we're going to get a dump. Bitcoin is going to get some type of dump here. What I do believe is that we will continue to fall down. Oscillators up here pretty where I don't want to be. Get a little bit of a downfall here and then come up. But what I think we can do is get that 39,500, 39,300 range for Bitcoin. That range is very important. I've been talking about this non-stop, and that's the yellow Fibonacci golden pocket bottom there. So I do think that we could get a liquidity grab all the way down to these prices. So pay attention to this. I think that this is where I will put a long in. Obviously, experienced traders only, not financial advice, my strategy only. But this is what I'll be looking to do. So I am looking for this to have a situation here where an upward W will occur. You'll see what happens. 4,500 will come back in. So lots of times, lots of areas to talk about on the weekly. You can see what I was talking about before. We had a long-term time frame of support building into resistance, but now coming back through building support here. This is beautiful. This is exactly a recipe for a cup and handle that you want. The cup and handle is beautiful. I don't know if you see how beautiful this cup and handle is. Coming all the way down, all the way through, and then Bitcoin will give you that cup, right? That's the handle right there. What a pretty handle. We're buying the handle, and then we'll find ourselves testing at 48,000 again, get rejected, come back one more time to 40,500, get rejected again, and then off to the races eventually where we need to get to about 65,000, and ultimately, as you could tell, repeating all-time highs, how important this will be. So I just want people to understand from the charts, from the perspective here, looking at technical analysis, we're a little overbought, a little bit much on the short, or on the weekly, excuse me. On the 4-hourly, I expected that as well. There is the 4-hourly. So let's watch what happens here. Very, very pivotal prices, very important right now where we're at. I do think this is what we get. Could get a pump, right? This could happen here up and then down. So please watch. I do think this is the all-time run here. This is what I think is happening. Bitcoin is going to find itself doing this trend, and this trend is to the down as you're watching. So please pay very close attention to what we're looking at. Bitcoin is coming down, and it's not stopping down here until we get that final drop. So what I believe is coming here, and it's very important to see the support and everything that we may break down to. You can see how pivotal, how important it is, right? How important this price range. This support is magic here. This is a magic line. Without this being broken, we won't know any confirmation. So 40,700. Once we start breaking below 40,700 on that Bitcoin price, most likely finishing a daily below there, and 9 hours and 55 minutes before we get that answer. I think we're going to come all the way down through to there or up. So you got to watch, but the end result is down. The end result is down, right? We're talking about being bearish here. We may get a little pump, but watch what's happening here. So I do strongly believe that Bitcoin gets this pump down. Perhaps we get a right shoulder here, but this would be a massive pump that could occur and not stop. So Wall Street Pete bringing to you a live 15 minutes, 13 minutes at the time. We'll go 2 more minutes, but I'm trying to explain to you, I think this is the pivotal point in time where we get a huge, massive bounce. So look at this chart. I do believe this is what happens, or perhaps we never pump and come straight down. That is your other option for me. That's what I'm doing. My thoughts. Let me know what you think about in the comments section. Either one is going to result me in making money in the green, and looking forward to one of these moves happening, because why, I'll be buying the dip, and that's about where I'm expected to go for Bitcoin. So watch right here on the daily. You can see a little bit more down spout time here. We did start coming up on the daily here. When did we start doing it? Well, it said we started doing it here on the 14th of January, but we've been doing nothing but falling. So remember, the trend is your friend. We're not going to trust these oscillators until they complete the trend to the downside, and that also tells me that the trend is not over. Very minute weak candles on the daily. We're not finished going down. We're going to get something here, and this is, like I said, beating a dead horse, coming down to here. So excited to talk about it. Total crypto market cap is 1.65 trillion. Nothing really to sneeze at. Paying attention to the prices, 41,000. As you can see, the more and more we test the bottom here, it's going to touch and break through eventually. So Bitcoin not really looking too strong. 14-minute video for you. We're going to do a total of a 15-minute video, and that's it. So between that and Ethereum, ladies and gentlemen, you can see what's happening. We do look to get some more downspout time. We are overbought here, even on the oscillator for this daily for Ethereum. But I think Ethereum has the most growth to make up on here. A lot of things have been happening. Don't mind this. This is a lot of trading. When you trade on leverage, you start doing a lot of zones, a lot of support resistance zones. You put them up. These are what all these lines are. I was trading on leverage on Ethereum, and I had to find out what was the next level. You'll find out that a lot of traders do this when they are actually live day trading on leverage. So just got to understand it's a big deal. I concur 88 to 3, then take off. I can't read that. I'm so sorry. Let me bring this out. There we go. 88 to 39. That's what he said. But yeah, I don't know. I guess you've been watching the show. I appreciate it very much, Matt. Thank you for the comment. This looks pretty good, but the problem is this is a dead cat bounce. Thank you very much for the comment on Cardano, but the trend is to the downside still, as you can see, right? Every time we do that. So we could get a pump like that, but this is still, you could tell, long-term time frame here. We're still heading to the downside. This is the trend, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't see the trend, I'm trying to help you. So I tell you, hit the like button. So 15 minutes into the video, Cardano, Ethereum, and Bitcoin all doing the same kind of thing. What happens from here? Well, what happens from here is you get a pump up, you get one more double bottom somewhere where you create a double bottom, and then that's where that liftoff will occur. And the rest is history, my friends. 62 cents, 62 and a half cents will be your top major resistance for Cardano. Didn't expect to talk about it, but Matt decided to say hello in the super chat. So Matt, nice to have you in the super chat. You can see where we get these numbers from. And once we break that, of course, when we consolidate from there, you can see there is no stopping Cardano. From that point in time on, you could talk about all the way to $1.26, and boy, I can't wait for the days for them to be screaming and yelling, "Oh, we're here! Hardy har! Oh, lives in a pineapple under the sea!" Wall Street Pete does, right? I'll be living wherever I want once Cardano gets to these prices. I cannot wait for this sleeping giant to wake up and bring us back to the times where we were excited. So talking about sick dough in crypto, you comment, you hit the like, you subscribe, and maybe we go over it for you. It doesn't have to be crypto. We could talk about the S&P here, where we think we're going after this. It's pretty exciting, S&P. Traditional markets looking healthy, but did we get an injection? That's what I'm wondering. Lots of things to talk about there. S&P, right? S&P finally coming down. If you look at the daily, you wouldn't know that the price was falling. By looking at some of this, right, we had about a 17-cent range possibility, but $16 was the match. And that's why you had dollar cost average out, because if your price range to get out, real quick before we go, was $17.45, and that's what we thought. We get out earlier sometimes here because it doesn't always hit there, right? And then you'd be disappointing. And you can see the double top M patterns even on this particular asset. So be careful. Could get a double top M rejection, which would be bullish, but I don't see any prices coming above here. Once we started breaking ICP above the 1387, like I said, I didn't expect to talk about any of this stuff. I'm just giving examples here. That's about where we would see a price where, oh, I need to wake up. The market is coming back. We're going all the way through. But until then, I do expect some bearish momentum to the downside here, particularly daily. Looking kind of bullish, but you got to remember we had some zigzags here, down, boring sideways action before we actually lifted off. And that's probably what we'll repeat here. And you can actually see we created lower lows before we did that. So that's something I'm looking forward into the altcoins and going further. I did love it very much. We talked about supply and demand, how important supply and demand is, ladies and gentlemen. It's very important. Supply and demand. Well, what's happening? Well, the Bitcoin was, the spot Bitcoin ETF was definitely, and we'll have to agree with this, buy the rumor, sell the news. We see what's happening. We see the manipulation, getting cheaper prices. As I told you, I don't think much cheaper prices are going to occur right now. So if you missed the video, a lot of people coming into the late end of the video. I hate when that happens. It's a shame. Go rewind. Watch the beginning of the video. There's lots of good information to talk about. We did the crypto news in the beginning. Then we talked about all of the TA at the end here, which you're watching now. We talked about ICP. We talked about Cardano. We talked about Ethereum, and we focused on Bitcoin. Bitcoin has a 39,000 price range where I will be entering in a long position. You got to be careful. You got to be careful. It could keep going down. I don't think that all of the people in the space that are in here are going to allow that. I did a video saying that a lot of people FOMO'd in on the spot Bitcoin ETF, and I had some jerk noggle, and I love the name I just made up, jerk noggle. It's better than cursing and making fun of someone, but I just want to say, they're like, Bitcoin's been here since 2009 or 2013, whatever the hell they said. I don't really care. But they were like, you're telling me people FOMO'd into 40,000. We could have bought a blah, blah, blah price. I was like, you don't understand. The spot Bitcoin ETF just came out. A lot of people thought that Bitcoin was going straight to 100K from here. And then he just kept blah, 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 blah. I was just like, oh my gosh, I just realized I'm talking to a troll. What am I doing? Stop it, Pete. So the heart is here, right? We try to help people. We try to talk about cryptocurrency. We talk about my retirement plan. And let me tell you, Bitcoin is definitely one of them. So if you keep focusing on these shit coins, you're going to find out that when Bitcoin keeps just going higher and higher and higher, some of these shit coins are just going to go down to zero. That is going to happen. You do know that, right? I don't think you do know that. I think you think that every coin that went to their all-time high in 2021 will come back when Bitcoin gets to 100,000. Okay, let me ask you a question. Do me a favor and go back to Bitcoin at 40,000 right now. And go look at all the prices every fucking asset was at. They are all much higher in 2021 than I'm talking about when Bitcoin was at 40,000. Grab the specific time in that year, that time frame, right? I want you to do this. You can do it on the charts. It's fun that way too. All of the assets are much higher. I'm trying to explain to you. That's a little indicator. It's a little scary, actually. A lot of the money that's coming back this bull cycle is going into Bitcoin instead of the shittier altcoins. Keep that in mind. I just want people to understand that. It's very important. But that is what's happening. So I'd like to get some comments and feedback. But please, if you're not going to do any of that, the best thing you can do is hit the like button for me, please. I want to see 100 likes. I don't know, but you guys have no clue. I'm raffling off something pretty nice for everyone to have a chance to win for everyone when we get to 100 likes. But we can't fucking get there, so you guys are saving me money. Thank you so much. And I do it at the end of the video because a lot of people don't listen to the end of the video. But yeah, if we get to 100 likes, all of my subscribers, we're going to raffle off something exciting. And you fuckers don't want to do it. I don't know why. You know what, though? I have to give you credit because it's hard to hit the like button. I do a lot of videos. I do a lot of, I watch some videos and I forget to do it. And I'm like, son of a bitch, I'm a hypocrite. Maybe it's just not easy to remember to do. I don't know. That's why we say it so many damn times. Hit the like button! Have a great day, everyone. Love you guys so much. Take care.